Okay, welcome back. Part 3 of our division video series. Okay, so part 3, we're going to work with larger numbers. What do you do when the numbers are larger? When you can't use just a simple 10 times 8 or 10 times 5 fact. Well, strategy is still the same. And here I'm going to try to make the connection between long division and the strategy that we're using in class, which is called building an array or using your multiplication facts to help you solve division. There's a connection. So I'm going to introduce that today, and we're going to explore that in class this week. So let's look at number 2. Chloe had 472 video games. If she placed the games into 8 different stacks, how many games would be in each stack? So I'm taking the video games, the 472 video games, which is the total, and I'm making them into 8 different stacks. So that would be 8 different groups. How many games would be in each stack? So I'm trying to figure out how many in each group. So this is a sharing problem. And I'm going to write my equation. 472 divided by 8 equals games. Games in each stack. So 472 is a big number when compared to 8. So I'm going to use some, since I don't have a lot of room here, I'm going to use some loose, scrap paper here. And when you think of this problem, you can also think of it as how many groups of 8 make 472. Now this is a big number compared to 8. If I use 8 times 10 to start, because 10 is a friendly number, and I think, well, if I had 10 in each stack, that would only be 80 games. Well, that's really far away from this number. So you want to think of your multiples of 10. 8 times 20, well, that's 160. Okay, well, I can keep going up the line. What if I doubled it? 8 times 40. Well, I know 8 times 4 is 32. And in my placeholder, that's 320. That's a little closer. What if I tried 8 times 50? That's 400. Now I'm even closer to this number. If I tried 8 times 60, well, 8 times 6 is 48. So 480, well, that would be too many games. So I'm going to start with 8 times 50. So that would be 50 games in each stack. That's 400 games. Well, how many games are left over for me to divide up? Well, 72 games are left over. Because 472 makes the number of games that I started with, correct? So I'm thinking, how many groups, so how many can I put in each stack now? I know I have 8 stacks, that doesn't change. Well, if you know your 8 facts, 8 times 9 is 72. So that would be 9 more games in each stack. And your answer would be 59 on the outside. Now, the reason why we draw the model is because in multiplication, the product would be in the inside of the array. But since we're dividing and we're finding the missing factor, remember we talked about that in part 1, the missing factor is on the outside of the array. So it's 50 and 9. So that's 59. 59 games in each stack. So I would write that here. 59 games. In each stack. Because this is a sharing problem. So when you're working with bigger numbers, you want to use your facts of 10, your multiples of 10. Now, if I would connect this to long division, let's think about this for a minute. Traditionally in long division, you would cover up every digit. You would start with the highest digit, the hundredths place in this case. And you would say 8 doesn't go into 4. But the reason why that's not true is because that 4 isn't a 4. It's 400. And 8 does go into 400. How many times does 8 go into 400? Well, we know that. 50 times. So I would write 8 times 50 is 400. And then you would subtract. Now, you would generally write a 5 here, right? Okay, you can do that, because this is 5 tens, or 50. And then you would divide again. Well, there's 72 million. There was 72 games left over to divide. Well, I know 8 times 9 is 72. So if I divide up the rest of the games, I don't have any games left. So that means I don't have a remainder. And that is 9 ones. And your answer is 59. 59 games. Understand that long division is one strategy for solving. But when you're working with word problems, you have to understand the context of the problem. So in this situation, we're dealing with games that will be divided up into 8 stacks. You cannot forget that when you're using these strategies. Always go back to your original problem and ask yourself, what are they asking me to solve? Whatever strategy you decide to use, it has to make sense and it has to help you understand the context of the problem. So, okay, this has been the 3-part division video series. I hope that you find it helpful. I hope that the parents find it helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. And stay tuned for more exciting videos coming up soon. Take care.